Welcome everybody to the Coastline Sports Talk. We are live here. It's 12:23 p.m. on the East Coast as we're getting set to talk about wrapping up some spring training. We are going to talk about some of the NFL mock drafts, what teams are going to be doing, and also we're going to be talking about some of the moves that the teams have made on the coast. It's March 26th, 2018 here, and we got my buddy Jonah on the phone. Jonah, what do you think about the Rays' moves this offseason, losing Longoria and etc.? How do you feel about that?
Well, losing like a player like that, face of the franchise, I think it's going to be difficult for them to overcome. But I do see that they are interested in Jose Bautista, and that would be a big piece for them. I just saw the Braves have actually passed on Bautista right now and are moving on to other things. But back to you, Dylan.
All right, yeah, thanks, Jonah. I'm here to talk about the Braves, and whenever you have a prospect as good as Ronald Acuna, it's hard to send him down. But the Cubs did the same thing about Chris Bryant with the service time, giving him an extra year of arbitration, and Acuna just went off in spring training as well as Bryant did a couple years back, but they're doing the same thing, which is a smart business move, bad for the player, because the player and the business both know that he's ready for the bigs. But when you send him down, it's like, hey, we want to serve your time just so that we get an extra year out of you. And they might not like that because they know that they're ready to be there. But the Braves have just signed outfielder Peter Borges, who the Cubs have released, which gives them a spot to play in left field possibly, buying time for Acuna to make the team, most likely in late April. Anything more about the Rays this offseason? Like any big time people they got in the trade you'd like to discuss?
I would like to discuss Johnny Field and Brandon Snyder. You mentioned Peter Borges being signed after the Cubs released him.
Yeah.
But why don't you like to just talk about Johnny Field and Brandon Snyder?
Yeah, there's some big prospects there in the organization. You got a couple of them appeared on the MLB Pipeline Top 100 prospects, and
yes,
hopefully they will end up getting their shot in the big leagues here in the near future. And, all right, let's kick it over to some NFL things. I would like to discuss some of the moves that the Jaguars have made. They've signed wide receiver Dante Moncrief and to a 1 to 2 year deal with a little bit of guarantees in there. He's making $9.6 million guaranteed. I think that that's a little bit overpaid, but hey, when you lose someone as big as Allen Robinson, you just need to fill the role as best as you can. They've also released Allen Hurns and tight end Mercedes Lewis. And we've also re-signed Marquise Lee, along with free agent tight end Austin Safarian-Jenkins. He's a former Buccaneer, and more on that we will head over to Jonah. Anything you were being surprised about on the Buccaneers this offseason?
I think Safarian-Jenkins was actually a Jet.
He was, but he spent time with Tampa before he went to New York.
Okay, I understand.
He's had some off-the-field issues over the past couple of years, a couple DUIs, some suspensions, so hopefully they get him right, use him right, and he's a good player.
Yeah, I think the Jags made some nice moves this offseason. Maybe, like you said, overpaying Moncrief, but, you know, the defense last year, if it just continues to not even improve, just stay the same, I think they could definitely be a top 3 defense. On the offensive side, they're probably going to struggle unless, you know, is Doug Malone, is it?
Doug Marrone, head coach.
Marrone, yeah. He's great at, you know, running the offense around Leonard Fournette. So I do think they will be 11-5 team. That division is going to be tough. So I do think the Texans will be on top 12-4 in that division.
That's
Dylan?
Very true. Texans have a little lighter schedule, and the Jags' schedule this year is very, very, let's say, compact and difficult. And with the Colts getting Andrew Luck back, you never know what could happen there. And the Titans also made the playoffs last year, so I believe it'll be a slam-packed, tight division the whole way. And yeah, so we're talking NBA, Charlotte Hornets.
Oh man, talk about that! 60-point victory?
Yeah, that was insane. You know it's bad when Dwight Howard put up a 32-30 and then that happens. It was crazy. Malik Monk got in the basketball game. He normally doesn't spend too much time on the floor, but since they had a lot of garbage time, they had to use some of their players. The whole fourth quarter, they were playing guys that could possibly be in the NBA Gatorade League.
Yeah. Going for their fourth straight win today. 7 o'clock tonight, tune in. Hornets at home to the Knicks.
I don't believe they're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, but it would be a long shot for them to make it.
You're correct.
And the Hawks are being just downright not that good this season. Dennis Schroeder, Kent Bazemore, the only big time players on the Hawks, and Collins is also a good center to build around for the future, and we'll see where they go with the direction of the franchise. So, talked Hawks, Charlotte, and the Dolphins. Dolphins released Ndamukong Suh. They released Julius Thomas. There are reports they were interested in DeMarco Murray. They signed Brock Osweiler yesterday. So those are some big-time moves. If they land DeMarco Murray, that'd be pretty interesting. What do you say about that one?
Oh, that would just... If we're talking fantasy aspect, that would just screw Drake.
Yeah.
But we are talking real football, so I think it'll make their team a little bit better. Drake will definitely have a little bit more rest in there. And I think the Dolphins, they're cut out for the future. I love Adam Gase. I think he's a good coach. And he's a very honest man. Last year, he just said they were one of the worst teams at one point, and I agreed with him.
Yeah, that Thursday night game against Baltimore was pretty bad.
Yes.
But on another note, they got rid of Jarvis Landry, big-time receiver. They will plan to draft for the future. There's reports they were looking Baker Mayfield if he falls. But if not, then I think they will go elsewhere. They need help in some other regions of the field. So, yeah. And the Buccaneers adding Jason Pierre-Paul from the Giants. Some believe that opens up a spot for the Giants to draft Bradley Chubb. Pierre-Paul is a great player. Ever since the firework accident where he blew his hand off, I don't know. I haven't been following him that much because he hasn't been so out there as a top rusher. But he's definitely got the resume, and he'll add to that defense to go along with Geno Atkins.
Yes.
Gerald McCoy. Don't know why I said Geno Atkins. And they lost Doug Martin. He's since signed with the Raiders and John Gruden. Talk about running the football over there in Oakland. They got Lynch, Richard, Martin, Washington. He's going to preach the run. And, Miami Heat. I haven't been following the Heat as much as Jonah has this season. So what do you think about some of the Heat, their record, and how they're doing this year?
I think their guard play is phenomenal. Let's see. I know their centers are beasts.
Dragic made the All-Star game.
Yeah, Dragic, Wade, and Waiters. Great beasts right there. I think they're about 39 and 35. They're looking at about an 8th seed in the Eastern Conference, which could be good. But I think if they move up one spot to the 7th, right, they would play a Kyrie-less Celtics in the first round, which would be amazing for them.
That's pretty true. They got Hassan Whiteside in the middle.
Yes.
And that's pretty good. Anytime you have a centerpiece like Whiteside, that's going to be great for your franchise. Now, Charlotte, they have Dwight Howard, and Kemba Walker. There were reports that they're going to trade Kemba Walker. They aren't doing too hot this year, but they picked it up as of late. Their draft, I don't know where they place right now in the if the season ended today, where they would be in the draft order. But
I believe 10th.
10th, that's not too bad. You get another guard if you want to. You can maybe get a forward, anything that you could address. They have Kid Gilchrist at small forward. He's more of a defensive kind of guy. And they got Nicholas Batum, and they drafted Malik Monk last year. And he's developing, but doesn't get enough playing time he would like. And MLB, we're talking Marlins. Derek Jeter came in. He cleaned house. How do you feel about some of them moves?
I agree with them. Jeter's just a ball player at heart, and I feel like he's going to be a great leader in that organization.
I do too. Now trading Stanton, Yelich, Ozuna, all gone, and D. Gordon is long. I knew I was missing one of them. Whenever you trade guys like that, it's hard to explain to fans how they went about their business. What do you think is, whenever you get rid of big time names, we saw teams do it in the past.
Yes.
How do you explain to your fan base what you're doing?
Well, I think it's easy. Building for the future. And hear me out here. You've seen the Cubs do it about 4 years ago, give or take. And in baseball, the prospects, they're easy to come by, if you will. Like I said earlier to you, the draft position doesn't really matter. It just really matters about who you grab, and then if you can develop him to be a good ball player. And I feel like the Marlins, like I said about the who was it? Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll be great in 5 years, but this year it's going to be rough. I think they could be looking at 90 to 100 losses.
Yeah, that's very true, especially in that division. Philly's getting better with signing Jake Arrieta. Nationals aren't going anywhere. They got the Braves, who, if Acuna comes up, he might give their win-loss column some praise. And yeah, so there's that. And the Carolina Panthers, we'll talk about them a little bit. They got rid of Jonathan Stewart, meaning McCaffrey is by himself in the backfield. He is the man, and he is going to be the workhorse. And I think they signed a receiver. Can't remember who it was, but if Jonah, you could check on that for a little bit. Yeah. So Carolina, Cam Newton's a great quarterback, but it seemed like in the playoffs last year he didn't have anybody to throw to.
Yeah. Panthers football last year, man. Seems like they haven't been to the playoffs since that Super Bowl. Yeah, and kind of exposing Cam Newton a few years ago, but I think Cam Newton's back on track, and this year I think they'll have an excellent season. My prediction's 10-6 because of that division and how tough it is. But yeah, back to you, Dylan, on the free agency around that organization.
Yeah, that's true. Panthers they got rid of Ed Dixon. There were reports, which tight end was it? They were talking about adding a tight end, and I was thinking it was Jimmy Graham, but if not, he already signed. But they were talking about pairing him with Olsen, and that'd be it was Ebron, Eric Ebron. He's since signed with the Indianapolis Colts. But if he went there, that would have made their offense a little bit better. Gave Newton another target, and that'd been pretty good. And we still have the Falcons to talk about. Anything going out there in Atlanta?
I didn't like their step back. Many thought they would, I think, be better last year. I mean, they didn't have a bad season in terms of regular season, but I thought they would have just gone out and actually won a few games in the playoffs.
Yeah. Falcons, they got the two-headed backfield. I normally do not like that but it does give a little switch to your offense, keeps them fresher, gets guys in the mix, screws the defense a little bit, and yeah, the Falcons, they had a good year, made the playoffs. I think they beat the Rams first game, and they couldn't close the deal in the second game. But yeah, things should be going a little bit better in Atlanta. They lost Taylor Gabriel, I believe. He's a free agent. And other than that, I think that that's all the moves that they have made. Well, we've talked about everybody today, and we hope that you guys like this broadcast, and we'll be signing off, and hope you guys have a great day.
And let us know. Comments do help a lot. Let us know if you would like us to go longer, go shorter, if this was a good time. Your comments help us a lot because we will follow them in the future.
100%. Wise words. Hope you guys have a great day. It's Monday, March 26, 2018. Sun is buzzing out here on the coast. Have a great day.